Can you do a video on the planet Eadu? Alright, so Eadu has at least one sun and one moon. It is a very bleak, rain-drenched planet on the edge of the galaxy, largely untouched by civilization and almost forgotten in the galactic charts. It's hidden in the Outer Rim's Berra sector in Hut space, pretty much on the far stretch of the Trailers trade route. Now, no one is going to recommend this as a holiday destination. It had craggy highlands, towering rock spires, and very narrow ravines, and storms would dominate the skyline. These storm clouds would make navigation very hazardous, and it does actually mask the surface to most sensors, but it would always be raining and there's always lightning. But the ground itself, it was very jagged and uneven, and there would be a type of bitter, tangy smell in the air. That's because of the type of soil that was dotted around. But there were actually some Eaduians, people that lived in the southern hemisphere. They were mostly nerf herders, and they lived in isolated villages, pretty much unaware of what's actually going on in the galaxy. And because of where it was hidden, and obviously not a great visiting place, the Empire decided this is a great place for an outpost. The planet was privately claimed by Moff Tarkin and then handed over to the Tarkin Initiative, which was a secret weapons research division that was dedicated to advancing the Death Star's weapons. In the planet's secluded northern range, the Empire constructed and concealed this research complex, specializing in refining that kyber crystal energy. This installation was under the supervision of Ciro Argon, and it was guarded by the 975th Battalion Stormtroopers. Now, Galen Erso was forced to lead the kyber crystal experiments at this site, and this was all overseen by director Orson Krennic. His research, which was critical to the development of the Death Star's laser, these were carried out on off-grid testing zones scattered throughout the mountain range. Because of Eadu's constant interference with long-range transmissions and sensor arrays, the planet was dismissed by most Imperial bureaucrats as a dead-end rock, which was the perfect camouflage for such sensitive work. However, Eadu's anonymity became shattered. Galen sent the pilot Bodhi Rook to deliver a message to Saw Gerrera, a warning about a hidden flaw within the Death Star's core. Once this information reached the rebellion, Director Krennic traveled to Eadu to contain the leak. Simultaneously, the rebel agents, including Jyn Erso and Captain Cassian Andor, they arrived in search for Galen. Krennic had executed several of Galen's fellow scientists, and the rebel bombers struck the complex moments later. The resulting chaos ultimately led to Galen's death, the partial destruction of the installation, and the beginning of the rebel mission to retrieve the Death Star plans from Scarif. We'll have on Eadu. Hope it helped.